It's always great fun to share Moss Mountain Farm with visitors, but it's particularly fun when we have lambs born. Who doesn't love a baby lamb? We have a breed here called the White Dorper, and I want to tell you all about it with some of the most adorable little lambs you've ever seen in your life. Before we go any further, I'd like to thank our sponsors. The garden tours are made possible by Gilbert H. Wild & Son, who've been growing beautiful perennials since 1885. Ralston Family Farms, a farm family producing delicious rice for your table. First Community Bank, whose heart is in the community, as well as Sun Patience, Super Cal Petunias, and Dragon's Breath Celosia, and Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art. Check out my website to learn more about the brands we love. So this is a little White Dorper lamb. This is a little male sheep. He grew up to be a mighty ram like his father, whose name is Zeus. But this little guy is only about 3 weeks old, and there's one just on the other side with its mommy that's only about 10 days old. They grow very quickly, and the mothers are very protective. Come here, mother. Come here. Come on. Good mother. Yeah. And what I love about the Dorper, they were developed in South Africa in the 1930s, and they're a great foraging sheep. They take very good care of their babies. They're considered a hair sheep, and so what you'll see is this ewe has lost her pelt, so she has kind of a combination of hair and wool. And the pelts on these are highly prized, but they're mainly raised as a meat sheep, but they're really easy to care for, and that's the reason I like them. So they really, I think, define or are a good example of the idea of a land race breed, meaning they sort of came out of a place and they adapted very well to that place. And that's what's so wonderful about many of the heritage breeds of animals we have here at Moss Mountain Farm. Our poultry, for instance, are all land race breeds. She's a little upset that we have her baby, and you're upset because you want to get down there and have some more milk. But they're also very productive. So within a 2-year period, a ewe like this, good girl, a ewe like this can produce up to 3 batches of lambs. And I say batches of lambs because often they'll have twins, and we've even had triplets. I know, there's your baby, I see. And so here in the winter, they have a very thick skin, and we find that they rarely seek shelter. They like to, they're fine out in the cold. We don't get a huge amount of snowfall here, but they do just fine. And we'll knock the pelts off of them in summer, so it's a little cooler for them. We'll just shear those off, and it makes them, well, not get too hot. Now, people often ask, how do you keep the coyotes away from them? Well, we have 2 defense mechanisms. Come here, here's the baby. It's okay, see? It's okay. 2 defense mechanisms. One is our donkey, Moose. You may have seen him if you've visited here. He's been deputized as our #1 coyote control officer. And then he is backed up by 2 very efficient Anatolian Shepherds. You can see Smudge and Squeak right here. This is Squeak. And Squeak takes good care of the lambs, don't you, girl? Oh, good girl, there's the baby. There we go. See the baby? So she is a protectorate of these little lambs, and they are fierce with the coyotes because they're one of the big problems, coyotes. So this is Squeak, and her sister Smudge is right over here. So Smudge and Squeak are sisters and litter mates. Come here. Good girl. See the baby? Good girl. Yes. So they take very good care of them, and they stay up all night, and they too have a very thick coat, and they like to stay outside as well. Even though we have outdoor shelters for them to get inside, they tend to want to well, be out in the open where they can watch for predators. Now, if we look just to the other side here, we'll see their father. This is the ram Zeus coming up, and he hears the babies and the ewe, and he's coming to check things out. But you can see with Zeus, his old pelt is on the back, and he's putting on a winter coat now. He's a very handsome fellow. Now, we couldn't keep all these animals without experts that help us. On the poultry, we have great experts, and certainly on the sheep, we use JBJ Farms in Missouri. Jared Freeze is a great consultant for us with our sheep. And they do an amazing job with their White Dorpers. So proud of Jared. He's a 4-H'er FFA. Now he's moved on and starting a family, and he is continuing to raise some of the best White Dorpers in the country. And that's where our original stock has come from.
My name is Jared Freeze. My father and I own and operate JBJ Livestock. We raise White Dorper sheep, and that's what my true passion has been ever since we got into them. Their adaptability and their just way they function in the states of Missouri and Arkansas works so well.
You know, when an animal has a particular purpose, like the Dorper sheep being a meat breed, they have a certain conformation or body type, don't they?
Several things based on conformation. Like I said, you look for an animal that has a long length of body, especially on a ram, you're looking at his masculinity. Like I said, he's got an excellent head to him. You're looking for traits like that. You're looking at the amount of muscle that he carries.
Right.
And just functionality. What you see in the show ring is their best aspects, but you want to take those best aspects and apply them to what they're going to be used for at the house.
Sure, sure. What about sort of the breadth of the chest and so forth? Is that something you're looking for?
Yes, and on the Dorper sheep, it's very important. You can see on him, if I can get him turned out here for you, he's very clean fronted. He doesn't get real thick or too, bulky in the front. Some of the Dorper sheep I worry about, you see, they almost have like a French bulldog type look to them. They're too thick in the front end, and it actually causes some lambing problems.
And one of the things that's great about the Dorper breed is that they're great about being out in the pasture themselves.
Right.
And they can take care of their babies. They don't need much assistance when it comes to when lambing time comes along.
Yes.
What we've been trying to do here is improve our flock, and I really appreciate you guys helping us with that. And it's been remarkable to me over the past 8 years since we've had them, how if you do focus on certain characteristics, that you can see improvement genetically. You can see the animal change or the flock change over time. Yeah.
And I would agree with that. Like I said, we've been into White Dorper sheep now for 8 years, and we've bred a lot of them up. We've also bought some stuff along the lines also to increase our genetic pool. Like you said, genetics have played a big deal in that, just breeding for the traits you're looking for in the areas you're looking for.
Yeah, you decide, hey, we need a longer back, or we want, broader shoulders.
Right,
and
want a better feed structure on our sheep.
Yeah. You look for those characteristics in those parent animals, and then you begin to see it in the offspring.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I know our flock has improved dramatically over the past 7 or 8 years, and with this guy on board, it's even going to get better.
He's excited about that.
He is excited about being here.
My name is Mike Freeze. We've had many different breeds of sheep, but we really enjoy and prefer the White Dorper over others. They do very well out on grass and pasture with minimal amount of supplementation.
They are a meat breed sheep. They actually have a shedding ability versus what you see on most of your old-time sheep that actually had wool. These actually shed.
The Dorper sheep are meat sheep. They're sheep that their sole purpose that they were bred for was to efficiently produce meat utilizing low quality forages and roughages.
They have a tremendous carcass quality to them. On most of your sheep, they have a decent carcass quality, but these really, that's what they're specialized for. They have a big loin, have a lot of hip, which makes your leg a lamb, and then that loin, is a big thing for your lamb chops as well, so there's a lot of pounds of products in these animals.
Dorper meat is excellent meat. The quality of it, based on the texture and the flavor and the leanness and the muscling, is really becoming the preferred cut for chefs. It is very delicate. It has a fine texture. There's a lot of muscling, so there's very little fat and gristle in it. And then also it's lean, so that you actually get more meat per pound of product.
It is very, very lean compared to most lamb that you eat. It has a little bit of a grit to it. has a little bit of a, I would almost call it an aroma that most people tend to steer away from. But one nice thing about the White Dorpers is they don't have that texture quality to them or that smell. It really tastes like you're eating a normal piece of meat when you eat it.
Because of the quality of the meat, that there really aren't any undesirable cuts on it, so that we can utilize it all.
If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and be sure to ring the bell for notifications.